Hi Mauser, hi buddy. Give me 1 second just to get started here. One moment. Give me a moment. Let me just put the volume down. Do you know any good JS game engines? I think there are some common ones like phaser.js, right? As far as I recall, phaser was something that I've used. Let me just update the stream. Give me 1 second, just the title and stuff, I guess. Maybe like this. Give me 1 second. But I think phaser.js is probably something that that you want to look at, right? Phaser has been Phaser has been quite popular, if I recall, right? Alrighty, let's just get started here. I'm just gonna kind of make sure everything's opened. This is Louis Gui. I don't need that. Discord is here. Good. What is this? Let me close that. Is my microphone loud? Is everything fine? Just to confirm before we get started. Is everything okay? It should be, I suppose. Let's see. The music, I guess, is. Yeah, this is strange. Why is it showing as yellow? Microphone gain manual. Yeah, that's weird. Should be something has happened for sure. Let me move the gain to a lot higher, like this. Yes, I think that's better, right? Is it too loud now? Is the gain too much? I believe it is. I'm gonna add a light compressor. I don't know what happened to the microphone. Light compressor. Yeah, that should be fine, I suppose. Limiter. I'm gonna add a limiter as well here. Yeah, that should be fine. It should limit something reasonably well. Yeah, that's actually weird. Huh. Take a look at the filters. Filters are there. That's okay. All right, cool. Yeah, man, absolutely. But don't waste too much time on things such as game engines and stuff like that, right? Try to build actually a game that people want to play and stuff like that. Nobody cares about the game engine, right? As long as the game is fun to play. Like with every other product, right? It's the same with building a website, right? As long as something is useful to people, then they will use it. Your customers or your consumers don't really care about the game engine, right? So, because if you want to build a video game, the challenge is not really in the game engine itself, right? It's building the actual thing, just like with any other product, right? So, yeah, so I would be careful not to fall short to that sort of stuff, right? Good game engine will save a lot of time. I mean, sure, unless you, but you have to define what a good game engine is, right? Because a lot of time, most time you're gonna spend is gonna be not building the actual game. It's gonna be figuring out the assets, getting the models, blah blah blah, right? The hardest thing about product development, right, isn't the code itself. It's the same with video game, right? With video game, you're gonna have to figure out how to build maps, what should there be, the story, the characters, the right, and that is the hard part, right? Nobody cares about the technology behind the game if the game runs well and if it's fun. That's my whole point, right? So I'm not saying it's irrelevant, but it's mostly like what is a good what when you say a good good engine, what is a good engine, right? You need to define that for yourself. What is that, right? All right, let me move this here. Let's go over here. Good. Alrighty, cool. Let's see what we have here. Okay, cool. So today we're gonna be smacking a few things. What I'm actually going to do now, I believe I'm done with the users. Is this? Yeah, it is. Okay. So I'm gonna kind of continue with my actual refactor, and then we're gonna of course answer questions of people and stuff. So let me actually see what I have here. Let me just recap. So we have the courses, which is pretty big resource, I would say. Yeah. We have the articles, which is pretty important, yeah, and we have some stuff that I believe I most likely commented out. Let's see what we have here. And then we have the thoughts, which could be a good potential one, because this is a very important feature. I could technically do this one now, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's start there. So we have the model, we have the schemas over here. All right, so we're gonna kind of use the agent to help us. Chandler, good day, friend. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start with the composer this stream today, and we're gonna start with the thought resource. I need to refactor this resource a little bit, like to fit in my new kind of, you could say, Programming Network website has been online for 2 years now, so I'm not sure what you mean. It's been live for a long time, actually. When is it gonna be finished? Never. It's a social platform, right? So you never finish a social platform. It's going to be a project that's going to evolve, hopefully, for a long time, right? That's like saying when is Facebook finished, right? Never, right? You don't. Products are not thing that you finish. Video games are not things you finish. These are the things that are built over time, especially in this context, right? I built this entire platform and all the libraries and everything with a very limited time inside of the stream, right? So I don't have much time to work on it. So when is it going to be finished? Never. It's an ongoing thing forever. All right, so what we're going to do now, I'm going to go to my agent here, my Claude 3.7 Sonnet, and I'm going to say, if you take a look at, for example, users.schemas.ts, let's refactor my thought to follow the same principles. So basically what I'm doing now, I'm telling the AI, hey AI, I wrote a bunch of the code and I'm giving you the schema on how I now want it to be. So basically this is, you could almost think of this as global search and replace on steroids, right? All right, let's start the stream there, and then yeah, then we see where it takes us. All right, where is it? Yeah, so if we get over here, so basically what we want to do now, just so you understand, we want to use this type provider type box, and this is a library that uses another JSON validator schemas and exports the TypeScript types off of it. So basically we can no, I don't want that. So So let's see what happened here. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. Correct, correct. Yes. And then, as you can see, it infers, we infer the TypeScript interfaces and types off of the actual static JSON schemas, right? So that is the beauty of it. Okay, beautiful. That's very good. So that's a good start, right? So let's now make sure locally, if I'm still running it locally, the UI, that things still work, that we can render them, that our JSON schema is still correct. So it doesn't seem to be, though. Let's see. Comment count is required. Okay, that's weird. Comment count, what? Where did it infer that? Where did it count? Count. Oh, I see. Comment count is actually, let me take a look at that in my API. So reactions, comment count here. How much is this website worth? How many hours did you invest? I think it's a little bit. I don't know how to answer that question, right? I don't invest anything. I do this as a hobby because it's fun, right? And I genuinely want to build a platform over the years that it's gonna end up finding its own audience to like it, right? So how much time did I invest? I don't invest time in it. As you know, probably I'm not a typical streamer. I stream 2, 3, 4 times a month, right? So how much time I've spent on it, it's hard to say. I've spent a lot of time on it, but I spent more time talking to you guys and answering your questions than I did actually in building this platform, right? So how much time and how much is it worth? It's probably worth nothing right now. It's that's also very hard to define, right? That's hard. I mean, something is as worth as someone else is willing to pay for it, right? Yeah, so it seems to me here that the comment count is actually optional, and I don't actually know. That's a bit weird, right? So if we do optional and number, then potentially it's gonna work. Yeah, so now it works. Comment count. Give me 1 second. I don't remember how I've done this. Yeah, so comment count 0. That's weird though. So why do I have to set it as optional? Because if we take a look at my my raw query somewhere, let's take a look at it. Where was it? User schemas. Let's actually go over here. User. Yeah, so if we take a look at the get taught by ID, we can see that we're including. So we get the taught by the ID, and then we include, we do the SQLized literal, we do the raw query, and then we alias it as comment count. So it's slightly weird though that I have to set it as optional, but we'll have to investigate that. I don't remember how I've done this. It's been a long time ago, right? But it's okay. So we can see that our schemas. Actually, fuck yeah. Let's make sure to try the posting and stuff, because that's what was broken. Like creating the. Okay, so that works, right? And as you can see, I see what's the problem. So we're not. Of course, when we create a new thought, right? We're not returning the actual. So it's the response that was problematic. So if we actually go back to the schemas, the response schema is wrong. It doesn't have a command. In simple words. This will only exist if we're not creating it right now, right? So this is kind of correct, but it's optional, right? So when we create it, we're not returning it here. Which you could say we could unify that, so we can go here, and you can see we have models.create, it would be very silly to include it here, like, hey, include the comment count for this given thought. The reason why it's silly is because we know that there's not going to be any comment count, because we just created this now. Whatsoever, what we could do is we could include it here, so we could kind of just say thought, and then we could say comment count 0, right? That way, in theory, I don't have to make this optional. We can say comment count is always there, right? Maybe the update is gonna fail. Let's see, let's wait for our Docker container to restart. So in theory now this should pass validation. ID is required. And this is most likely the way that we... So I guess here I would have to say to JSON, which is the method that exists on a SQLized document. So I'm saying convert this thing to JSON. And then, yeah, let's try that. And give me 3 seconds, guys. I'll answer the questions in a moment. I just want to kind of figure this shit out. Yeah, okay. Now it works, I suppose. Even though we're not... Yeah, that's a bit weird. So, but yeah, now we actually have a comment count. It's just, why is this not being cleared? Is a little bit weird, but we'll see in a moment now. Okay, let me just answer a couple of questions. Hi Alex, how are you? I decided to change my career path from web dev to DevOps, and I need your opinion about that. Currently in an IT, I'm familiar about it, and job market. I decided to change my career path from web developer to DevOps, and I need your opinion on that. Ooh, I need your opinion on that. What can I say? I mean, it's hard to say, right? Depending, DevOps is also a very broad area, right? And of course, please, everybody can ask questions. That's why I'm here, right? That's why I'm streaming at the end of the day, right? What can I say, Ravaz? I don't know. You would need to kind of ask a little bit more specific question, because when you say such things such as, you know, I need your opinion, it's I don't know exactly what to tell you that's meaningful, right? So that's a little bit problematic for me. Just give me a second, fellas. I need to test something. Yeah, it's so weird. Let me just for my own sanity's sake, let me go to the API and let me just do this instead. Just wait for my container to restart. I'm just trying to correlate something to this, if this is an issue or not. Okay, so it isn't. Hi everybody, hi. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm gonna actually revert this one, so that's okay. So we have a UI issue there, that's perfectly fine. Okay, so I'm gonna keep that there, and let me just try one more thing here, just to see if we didn't break this. We didn't, so that's good. Let's try deleting shit. Okay, good. So now our schemas are, you could say, okay, that's great. That's great. Let's close the front end stuff. So now we have this, and we're inferring our types and stuff. So that's very good. So next thing we want to start doing, we want to start breaking this controller out into the service, right? So that's that's what I'm gonna start doing. So I'm gonna create a new thing here called, that's kind of the refactor I'm doing. So I'm gonna say thoughts.service.ts, and then we're gonna do the composer as well, right? So I'm gonna say, okay, so let's make sure we are okay. So I'm gonna say, okay, that's awesome. Let's now start moving controller functions into the service file that I've just created. Then I'm gonna give it the file. I'm gonna say thoughts.service.ts. Take a look at, for example, user.service.ts and user.router, and let's move them one by one, top to bottom. So just move one, and then once we continue, we're gonna do another, etc. Okay, so just to explain what I'm doing now, right? So the beauty about AI today, especially if you know how to write code, is that once you create a model, a schema of a resource, in this case an API, as we have it, right? So this is the stuff that I recently refactored, right? Now I can use the AI as a global search replace, almost, in a way, to help me refactor stuff without manually doing it, right? So this is kind of where AI helps me the most. I'm chatting to you guys now, and this guy is writing code. That's fascinating, right? If you had to start learning web development from scratch, in what order would you approach it, or what sequence would you recommend to a beginner? I would have started in the same way. You need to learn CSS and HTML really well, and once you're confident there, then you start the JavaScript. And I don't honestly think that I don't know where that hi there, Richards. I don't know where that question actually comes from, because when you formulate that question, it almost indicates that there is another way to start doing, let's say, web development, right? So that's like saying there's none, right? The web development is composed of three core technologies, three basic technologies: HTML, JS, and CSS. And this is, I call it the trinity, the holy trinity of web, right? So I don't think that you have options there, like which order. The order has been defined 30 years ago, and the order is still exactly the same, right? I need some courage to prove my point that it's kind of easier to get hired as DevOps than a developer. I'm not so convinced about that, right? I don't know if I could agree with that, Revaz. I don't know, honestly, if I could agree with that, right? That's a very, very dangerous assumption to make, right? Because keep in mind, you generally need one or two guys, DevOps guys, per relatively medium or small size startup, right? Whereas you need a lot more developers. So I would be very careful there. I can't agree with you because I don't agree with that. I cannot fully agree with that. Cedric, my friend, hey, good to see you, dude. Okay. So I'm just gonna start doing here what I'm doing there. So we kinda get over here. We add some types. We get rid of this bad boy here. We replace all the occurrences of the app with a fastify, right? We import this bad boy here, and then we of course import the service as well, right? So we're gonna say const.service, we're gonna give it some stuff, we're gonna import that service over here, then we're gonna start one by one, right? So here now I'm gonna actually comment this one out, and I'm gonna say handler, right? And then we're gonna do this, we're gonna use the service, and now of course we need to give it a type over here. With my small research, there's one job, there's currently. Well, I mean, the way that you look at the statistics could be wrong, right? Think about it this way. Right? So let's imagine that there's... It really depends how you look at it. Let's look at it like this. Imagine that 100 companies... Imagine that 1,000 companies are hiring people, right? Each one of these companies, let's say, need 1 or 2 DevOps guys. But each one of these companies needs, let's say, minimum 5 to 10 developers, right? So I mean, it depends how you read the statistics that you're saying, right? Right. So the statistics that you wrote doesn't need to go in your favor, right? Because again, we need way more developers than we need DevOps guys. That's the point, right? That's the main point. Okay, let's test this now. Okay, so it failed. Tags is required. Okay. And then David, I mean, your English is awesome. Very happy to hear that, man. Very happy to hear that, dude. That's awesome, man. That I'm very happy for that, man. Very happy for that. That is great. It's that's why we're here, man, to help each other. So that's nice, man. And good to see you again. Thank you for coming. I'm sorry, I will jump back and forth with questions and stuff. I just need to focus also a bit, because at the end of the day, I care more about doing work than talking to you guys. I'm sorry. I mean, that's just how it is. Oh, okay, so this is the problem, right? That's weird. Get thoughts by author schema. Is that really true? Like, if I go to production right now, to our production website, I don't remember, but that's why we're doing this at the end of the day. Yeah, so there's actually no tags here, so why? That's a little bit weird. Why is this done as such? Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so now it works, right? Yeah. So now it works. Actually, I fixed a lot of those that you reported. Snail, hey, how you doing, man? Good to see you. I fixed the most of those that you wrote, and they're already in production, Cedric, so make sure that you pull. Okay, this is very good. Okay, so this is kind of what we're going to be doing today a bit, right? And I'm just gonna say here type.optional, right? Optional, and then we're gonna say, I just want to try, because probably since I regenerated this with AI, most likely that this is in fact somewhere needed. So let's just leave it as optional there. Let's maybe just leave a little note. Wait, where is it? Yeah, over here. Check to do. Check if this is needed, right? Just so, and then we're gonna go through our to-dos later by the end of the stream. Okay, good. So that's perfect. And now we can basically nuke this fella from here, right? Because it's no longer used. And then we're gonna get rid of this, and basically we need to do the same for every other method, right? Turn it into a service, review it, add the missing types. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, right? So you can see now it's fairly simple here what we have. So we just converted one of them, which essentially gives us the thoughts. So gives us the user thoughts. So if you have a program network profile, we just it's just this one here, and now we're gonna continue on to the others, right? So very, very good. Front end is React. It's just plain basic React. Just beautiful. Yes. All right, cool. So let's continue, right? So the next one we want to do is let's actually go in this order. Get taught by ID. So let's move this one, and let's go to the service. And yeah, with this amazing AI thing, we're gonna do this very quickly. How fascinating this tool is! It's just insane. We're gonna throw here as always. We're gonna return a thought. So beautiful. And absolutely incredible. Okay, and then we're gonna go back to the controller. And oh wait, did I cut it? Yeah, I mean, I hope that you like it a bit more, man. I truly do. I think that yeah, I don't know. Is it perfect? I'm not sure, but it's I think it's better, and I agree with you. I think it's better than it was. So at the very least, yeah, I hope you're happy. Okay, so it's this one over here. So we're gonna move it back here. Beautiful. And then of course we're gonna do the service, right? Because now we are getting rid of our controller and we are replacing it by a service, right? So that's my intention with all of the remaining resources that I have. I'm just haven't yeah. So let's see here, get taught by ID. Beautiful. We have a join, left join here. We're saying, hey, include the user, include the count as well, just a raw query. If you don't find the thought, just fart out whatever, and then return the thought, right? So that's awesome. Okay, so let's go back here, and it should already be working, right? I think it's get thought by ID, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it, right? Let's just fart out here intentionally, just so we can fart out here as well. Yeah, exactly. Okay, beautiful. So that's it. Great, super. And then we're gonna nuke this bad boy, and then we continue. So what else do we have here? So let's do the gets first. Get thoughts by user preference. So let's move this fella over there as well. So we're gonna do very simple stuff. Oh yeah, this is probably the most important one. This is a big ass query for our entire feed, right? Okay, so let's proceed. Let's zoom in. Let's close the AI crap. So what do we have here? Yes. All right, so let's wait for. Okay, so I see. All right, so actually this is perfect. We're gonna review this query a little bit, maybe optimize it even so, because I believe, yeah, we can do that. I wrote this several years ago actually. So give me 1 second. All right, cool. So this is get thoughts by user preference. Yes. Yeah. All right, cool. Okay, so this is, I suppose, going to be a string. Then we're going to parse it here. Then we're going to have a user ID, I suppose. If there is a user, give me a user ID, and that user ID, let's say, might be, at least based on the current implementation, either a number or null, okay? And then we have some imperative code over here. And then we have a sequelize instance. Or is this sequelize object? Or is this an instance or not? Or some, let's take a look at that. Yeah, it is, okay. So that's gonna be essentially... I do have a reverse proxy, yes, of course. I have the whole infrastructure I built, and actually I have an infrastructure that I'm recording a course for as well. So yes, of course, we have a lot of stuff, yeah. Vince, hi Vince. Yeah, okay. So this is kind of almost fine. Almost. But we'll need to... count query, wait. Okay, so that's why, right? Because I'm labeling, I'm doing it here as count, so it kind of makes sense here that we are trying to get the count, right? It's just, is this a generic? Can we do something like, I don't know, honestly. I mean, we should be able to, right? Either an object of name parameters, replacements in format param, or any other. Yeah, we'll remind ourselves of this. I don't actually remember. But here I'm supposed to get a count, sure, and then, okay, so these are basically like, this prevents just SQL injections and stuff like that, right? So we're just saying these replacements are a way to parameterize the things we're injecting into the query, right? So somebody doesn't inject drop keyword or whatever, right? So that's fine, that's all great. It's just, how do I type this? Let's maybe use AI, because I don't know, to be honest. How do we type this out so the query understands that our raw query will yield count, right? Because this is a raw query, right? So let's see. And I actually don't like this, so let's do it this way. Then we get the thoughts. Then we return. So this is basically for our pagination, right? For our feed. That's why we need the count. So we need to understand how many pages, etc. we have, right? So, but it's not a pointer-based pagination, you could say. So it's not perfect, but it's more than good enough for now. Let's actually go to the documentation. Yeah. I mean, we could cast the value up front, but I don't like that, right? So let's see, yeah, and this guy is also farting out. But we could just explicitly cast here, right? It's just I hate that. I don't like that. That's how we could fix it at least, right? And maybe we should. I don't actually know, right? And this is also... yeah, this is maybe going to arrive back as string as well, this count, right? And that's... So we should probably check that, right? Okay, so let's not lose our sleep over this yet. So let's do something like this. Let's say here is a string, right? The count is going to be string, so these errors are actually fixed, right? And then we're going to go to our router, and we're just going to reference this new service instead. So as we just did, we're going to say handler. We're going to say handler and async blah, 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 right? And then we're gonna go and respond. Then we're gonna type this in, the query string, and we're saying here that the query string is a number, right? So we could technically do that, and then another JSON validator would do implicit coercion, right? Just like in JavaScript, in another JSON validator, you can kind of implicitly cast the value by just giving it a type, right? So it's almost like JavaScript with double equal. When you use double equal in JavaScript, there's going to be an implicit coercion happening, right? But fuck that. Okay, const... let me just find some other place where I'm doing that. Yeah, so I'm going to do this because we know in here that user will be, in fact, logged in. And actually, let's alias that because ID is too generic. So let's just say user ID, right? Okay, cool. So now in theory, this should work already. But let's see. You never know with a refactor like this. Okay, I think it's farting out. Yeah, it is. Request.user as it. Okay, it cannot destructure the user. Let's take a look at our Docker container. API dev. Let's see where the error is. All right, so it's in the router. Yeah, so we're failing to. Oh, okay, because we're missing the. Shit, of course. Because the user will, in fact, be undefined here in times, right? Because we're not requiring the user authentication here. So user might or might not be there, right? Yeah, that's actually fucking weird, man. How did I... Yeah, that is kind of weird. Because I am technically logged in. Or maybe, give me a second. Probably I have... Yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah, so here it is. Get thoughts by user preference. So weird. Okay, I mean, yeah, actually, I think we just found a bug. I wrote this very long ago. But, yeah, that's super weird, man. Super weird. And it's also good in a way, because that's why... Okay, so what I'm going to do, obviously, here, we're going to say const user ID. Either now. Okay, so that should fix it, right? Now, if we do... Oh, fuck, man. Ooh, I think I know. I think the request, but if we print the request, I don't think that we even serialize the ID anymore as part of JSON Web Token, do we? I actually don't remember. Let's print the user instead. crap, dude. Okay, so how does this affect... Jesus Christ, okay. We need to fix this. I mean, ouch. Yeah. Because now the tag preferences don't work, actually. That's so weird. And the only way to really fix that is to implement some sort of a... No, the SQL is correct, right? The problem is though, is that because we're not using any pre-handler for this route, right? Any, let's call it middleware, if you may, right? Then we never deserialize the user. We never check if the user is logged in even, right? And that it's fine if the user is not logged in, but so we don't want to do anything to a user here. So we need something like is authenticated that doesn't fail if it's not authenticated. So if it's authenticated, so I need another thing that's gonna actually, this is gonna fail, right? And that's fine. So bear with me. So we're gonna create another decorator called let's call this set user if authenticated. The thing is, but if it fails, we just want to return, we still want to proceed, right? So we never want to fail, right? So for example, I can just resolve a promise like this. It actually doesn't matter, right? Right. Okay. So this is what we need. Jesus, man. Okay, good. This refactor already is good, right? So now what we want to do, we want to have on request or whatever. So we want to have on request set if user is authenticated. Let's go to the types over here and then set this decorator as well, right? So we need it. So we're going to do it here. Fine, right? All good. We don't fail here. We just say, hey, if you're authenticated, great. Then deserialize the user, set it in the request object. If you're not, also fine. But we need this utility for this type of endpoint. So now this user should in fact exist. So now when I refresh this, if we implemented that properly, let's see. Well, we actually haven't. So let's see what happened. Bad request, okay. Let's see. Did I put it fastify? Set? No. Fuck. Wait. My bad. Sorry. It's almost good. But we shouldn't have set this on. Wait. No, actually, this is good. No, this is good. Yeah. So that's actually fine. Okay, let's go back here. So yeah, so this is gonna explode for sure. If not, and it's gonna be fine. If so, if yes, verify JSON web token. Yeah, so this verify throws the exception. That would be actually, let me show you, Cedric, before you leave. So I've done something for you. I've created this elevated card, just FYI. So if you take a look at our core, if you take a look at our Yale, right, our library, you'll find it here. So just FYI, you already have it. So if you want to do something with this, just do it. I love you too, man. Perfect. And thank you, dude. It would be super awesome if you can improve that sign-up page. I would appreciate that a lot, man. Okay, so let me read the logs here. Let me read why is this farting out. Something I've probably done, well, probably is not the right word. I've done something wrong without a doubt. So let's see what it is. 400. Okay, let's go to our error handler, right? And let's print the error here, because I'm logging my errors to my Grafana and Prometheus and stuff. See you later, buddy. Thank you. Okay, here it is, syntax error. Oh, I see. So we do, in fact, get there, right? Okay, good. So now we are... Okay, good. So this is good. So no, actually, so that worked, but because we have fixed this issue, now we're having an issue with the query itself. So that's good. So the decorator now works, and that's awesome. So now we're having an issue with something else, right? So we do, in fact, now get the user ID from here, and null if the user is not logged in. But we're now failing somewhere inside of this query. Let's see where we are failing, right? So if we read the logs, we're failing on line 173, it seems. Yeah, so we try to execute a query. Let's print this query. Let's see what's the query that we're trying to run, and then let's isolate the problem, right? So it has to be that the query we generate is wrong, right? And then we try to execute that. Where is it? Yeah, actually, I don't see the query. Oh shit, we need to I guess print it before we run anything else, right? Yeah, that's the problem. Okay, cool. Let's try that again. And actually, instead of going there, let's just go to our postman, right? And because we have our Swagger spec and everything, right? Where's our Swagger spec? It's here, right? Yeah. So we're interested into by user tags, right? Yeah. So if we go here, thoughts by user tags, yeah. Send. Are we still getting? Yeah. Okay, so this is the query. So this is our query. This is the query that we generated, right? I suppose. Yeah. And then, as you can see, we have these parameters that we're supposed to replace. Then we have a comment count over here. Column not a number does not exist. So we're trying to select something that doesn't exist. All right, so we'll probably need to use a bit of AI to solve this, which is why we have it, so that's fine. Give me a second, let me just read the thing. All right, let me close this for a moment, close that for a moment, remove the error from there. So this is where we are now. Let me just make sure we're actually getting there. This is Cursor AI editor, which is basically a fork of VS Code. Yeah. Daniel, hey Daniel. All right, let's go back here. So did we get this log somewhere? User logged in. Okay, good. Okay, so we are in fact here, so that's really good. So this is the query we're really... Oh shit, man, what? Are you kidding me, man? Come on, dude. Fucking AI, dude. Really? Nah, don't do that to me, man. That's not cool, dude. Why? So that is probably the problem. Jesus, man, come on. What? Existing query for logged in users, including... When... What? I actually don't care if it's from Microsoft, man. I think VS Code is awesome. Who made it plays no significance to me. It's either good or not. Who made it, I can't give a shit about that, right? Like, I don't glorify anyone. I don't care. If tool is good, I'm gonna use it. Who made it? Okay, this is, let's see when I push this. This is so weird. Open up feed. Wait, let's try to open this commit. Why did I... Or I simply maybe never finished that. Like, I don't get it. What? No, this is AI. I don't think I don't think this type of AI even existed when I wrote this. So this is, but it could be very easily this shit, right? I don't disagree with you at all, actually. It could be that. It could be very, very easily. I'm just trying to remember what I did. Do you commit before you let AI attach? It depends, man. I mean, I use AI to automate repetitive tasks, not to solve problems for me, right? So it doesn't matter if I commit, right? I don't think that plays much of a difference for me personally. Okay, I mean, this makes sense. I just don't know if this is something I still want to do. So now I'm so for me right now the main question here is, let me just elaborate it to you what I mean, right? So this query, when I originally wrote it, has two versions. One version is if you go to www.programmer.network and you're not logged in, right? So you're at this state, you're not logged in. But then when you log in, I want the feed to be relevant to you. So so I want you to see in the feed people that you follow, tags that you follow, etc., right? The biggest problem with that whatsoever is that when you just sign up, you're not really following anything. You are following some tags, but the tags that you're following might not even have any content because this platform is fairly new that we're building, right? So now we just need to make up our mind. Do I still want users to see even things that they're not interested in, at least for some time still, or do I want to revert what I originally wanted, which is, hey, you will only see the thoughts and articles and stuff from people you're actually... No, I mean, the whole point of Programmer Network as a platform is minimalism, and like the main reason why I'm making Programmer Network as a platform is so you only see exactly what you want. So no ads, advertising, no shitty algorithms like, well, because you like this book, you might like these people, right? I don't want to do that. I just want people to create their own experience. I only want to follow one guy. You only follow one guy and you can only read content from one guy. So the point is to build a platform that's everything opposite from Twitter and Facebook and all of these engagement-based platforms where they're just shoving down content your throat, right? Well, exactly, artificial guy, and I'm trying to make a platform for these people who want that, who do know what they want, right? Because I need a platform like that. I want people who know what they're interested in to be able to have a platform where you can say, I want to follow these people, these tags, and I don't give a shit about Rust or React or Python or C#. I just care about these things and I want to see these things, right? So that is what I want to build, right? And that's very opposite from the modern social platforms because it's all about engagement, right? It's all about just showing you something that you click on. What is the problem? There's no problem. It's a product decision, right? There's no problems. I'm just figuring out if that's still what I want at this point or not. That's the problem, right? Because again, the platform is still not even remotely big enough where people will be following each other, right? To see content from relevant people, right? So when you sign up, you will not be having anyone maybe to follow. So it would be shitty to just show nothing, right? So that's my problem. Problem is that, worst case that can happen is you show nothing to the user, right? And that's not what I want. All right, let's try this. I mean, I'm a little bit skeptical about this, but let's see. I don't remember. I mean, I do this platform a few hours a month, right? And I build the whole thing in a stream, right? So it's very hard for me to keep to fully memorize everything, infrastructure, front end, back end, whatever, right? It seems to be working now whatsoever, which is, to be very frank with you, super surprising to me. I didn't expect it to just work. Is it worth... Everything is worth learning in life, man. It's... It's just, is it worth for you now at this point on, or is it something else, right? Learning new things is always worth. It's just, is it worth now? It's the same with product development, right? You know, many companies know that they need to build some features. The question now is, should we build it now or in 3 months from now? So it's the same with learning, right? Everything in life, is worth learning. It's just, is there something more important to learn than that for you right now, right? Is there a free version? I don't know, man. I don't honestly know. Is there? I don't. Most of these tools I use, my company pays for it, or I pay for it, right? Because the price of these tools is so cheap that it's incredible. I understand. I sympathize if you're not working, if you're a junior, if you don't have a job. I get it. But then it's gonna be tough for you to pay things for things anyway, right? I pay for, my company pays for most of the tools that I use, what can I say? Those that they don't want to pay, I pay myself, because again, if it saves me 1 hour a day, it's worth $20. And it saves me, again, for me, AI is all about automation, right? I've built, past 20 years, I built so many APIs, so many infrastructures, so many frontends that I no longer need it to solve problems for me, as in tell me what an API is or what a React component is. I use it heavily to generate things that I exactly know what I want, right? And this is where AI, this is what AI is fascinating for me, right? Because I know exactly what I want because I've built it a million times, and I no longer have to manually write it because I wrote it countless times already, right? So as you can see in this stream today, this is a perfect example of how you can use it to automate it. Like, you give it the code that you wrote already, you need another resource, like, yeah, well, given this resource that I already wrote, write me this other resource in the same way, right? It saves so much time, right? It's incredible. But you have to, so one thing that I've learned about AI tools is that you want to do it slowly. So you need to do it in a guided way. So for example, I can now talk to you and tell this Claude to just code for me for the next 2 hours, but it's going to fail miserably. And once you stumble upon, let's imagine you let the AI write 2,000 lines of code now, and you find only one business logic that it broke. Now you can't trust anything in the next 2,000 lines of code, because if it broke one thing, it might as well just broke 15 other things. And it's way slower for you now to read the code that it wrote and validate it than actually doing it yourself, right? So yeah, okay, good. Well, this actually worked. This is amazing. Okay, so right now, I mean, the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna ask AI, because obviously AI is smarter than all of us. Let's just ask it. Hey, yeah, wait. Let's see. Can you review the query inside and see if there's any performance optimizations to be made to my SQL? Make none, just review, and let's chat about it. All right, let's see. Let's read this thoroughly. I'll review the SQL queries. Okay, union operation. You're using a union between two queries, one fetching thoughts based on a user tags and another one fetching thoughts from users the current user follows. This approach makes logical sense for the feature, but union operations can be expensive. You're using a common table expression CTE, of course, to pre-calculate comment counts, which is a good approach to avoid multiple joins or subqueries later. Duplicate group by. In second part of the union query, you have a group by clause that includes thought ID, author ID, comment count. This might be unnecessary if thought ID is already a primary key, as it wouldn't produce duplicates. Ordering after union. The order by is already after the union, which is correct, but can be performance intensive on large datasets. The query is simpler with fewer joins, which is appropriate for general feed. Thought tags. You're using limit and offset for pagination, which is standard but can become inefficient for the... Of course it can. For very large data sets, key set pagination is using where clause with Layla. Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to do that right now, so that's fine. Alright, so it didn't like that alias now for some reason. That's weird. Alright, okay, let's move away from this. I don't want this. This was never supposed to become a task. I'm probably gonna optimize this query and use my Redis to cache a couple of things here a bit. Actually, who cares? This is not even remotely a performance bottleneck in any way. So let's not fall short to these types of things we stumble upon the way. So who cares, right? So let's keep on doing what I started doing. It's very imperative not to fall into this trap of now just refactoring something I didn't even actually outplayed one. Hey buddy, good evening, good to see you, man. Thank you for coming. All right, let's continue. Let's continue. This is good. I like it. It's perfect amount of questions today, so I can focus on actually writing the code. So I like it a lot. And thank you very much for the rest of you who are taking care of the chat. I appreciate that a lot, actually. That's pretty awesome. Okay, so let's move this fellow to the service as well, and I'm gonna play with this query off stream most likely when I have the time, which I yeah, unfortunately don't have much of, but. Okay, so let's so what do we have here? We have the body and we have the user. So we have the user ID, we have the, yeah, so here, so we're gonna say body and user ID. Yeah, let's, come on, nah, not at all. Wait, where are we? In the service, yes. Ah, okay, never mind. Tip tap utils, if I go here, yeah, these are my tip tap utils. We'll have to review that as well. What are my thoughts about using Insomnia, REST, or Postman? Honestly, I think the Postman is simply the best tool out there, right? I've used Insomnia. I have a friend at work who has used it as well. I think it's a very nice tool. It's almost exactly the same. I think that I use two things. I use curl when I'm doing server-related things. For my projects, I use Postman because I can export my, so for example, and you can probably do that in Insomnia, right? What I do for most of my projects, right? You can see, for example, the reason why Fastify is amazing is because you can see that I have a full Swagger specification for my API here for free, because Fastify is using another JSON validator, AJV schemas, to validate request, response, body, URL parameters, query parameters. And because my every single endpoint is fully validated, of course, hopefully yours is as well, I get this spec for free. Now what I can do with this spec, I can export this spec to my Postman, as you can see here, and I can keep my Postman in sync with my OpenSpec API. So you can see I have my entire API and all of the endpoints I have here with zero effort. What do I do? Well, what I do basically, I have the OpenSpec API JSON, which I generate in development over here. As you can see, I have this generate Swagger JSON function. I basically just generate the OpenSpec API JSON. I go to postman.com, right? I log into my account, and then I literally import. So for example, you can see I have this Udemy course that I'm recording, but if I go to Programmer Network organization here, as you can see here, you literally go import, and you just drag the OpenSpec API JSON here. So this way I can keep, whenever I make changes to my API, I can just keep this. Of course, I didn't fully automate it. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it's not that you're creating 500 endpoints every single day. So whenever I update my API, I just come here, I drag this JSON file and then I can share this spec with all of my colleagues or my friends or whoever is working with me on a project, right? So only this feature itself is, for me, sufficient enough to love Postman. And of course, Postman has a bunch of other features that I'm not personally using, like automated tests, different environments, workflows. So it's a massive tool that can be really awesomely utilized to help you build your APIs, right? So this is, but for me, it's imperative that the API is fully OpenSpec API document. So in modern age, in 2025, if your API is not documented, so if your front-end developers are still coming to you saying, hey, John, where can I get apples, or how do I create an apple, right? That's a huge failure, right? So make sure that you document your API and then hopefully automate it, right? And then you can use tools such as Postman to solve a massive amount of problems, which, as I said, every single endpoint that my project has, it's here, right? Exactly. I can see that you already know what I'm talking about. Well, just go to the code and find where I'm doing it, right? I can see that you know what you're talking about, right? Because I'm sure you've been there. Right? Ooh, wait a minute. No. Let's be careful about that shit. I'm sorry, give me a second. I don't remember how I've done this. I need to read the code. Okay, I see what's happening. Sure. Okay. Let's, for 2 minutes, just make it pass. Okay. Sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yes, correct. Okay, what do we have here? We have the body. We have the content potentially coming from get content with images, sure. Now we're probably getting, hey, yeah, okay. So I suppose we also have to say we need to do some validation here if there's no content, sure. We probably want to do the same with the tags. Let's see, object literally only knows by tags does not exist in type optional partial I thought. Sure, that's not fully true. We'll fix that in a second. Also, I don't like the way that I wrote some of these transactions. We're gonna rewrite this a little bit So instead of wrapping it in this callback here, let's kind of do it a little bit more intelligently, right? So let's, because of JavaScript nature and exceptions, right? Exception handling, we'll have to do it this way. And then just outside of the catch, we're going to create a new transaction in this way. Yes, sure. Sure. Are we committing this transaction anywhere? I don't actually see that. We should have committed it somewhere, right? Why didn't I commit it? And then, yeah. So we need to commit the rollback and commit here, right? Okay, cool. And of course, we can't put it there because we are returning somewhere. So let's call this const thought. And then we want to return the thought over there. I'll need to on comment. I need to fix this as well. Cool, cool, cool. Tags as well, right? So this is something I fucked up, I believe, recently. Because these tags as well. Yeah, get tags. Yeah, so this, how did I write this utility? This either returns, this returns the number of tags that I, okay, so basically, so just so you understand what this does, so I'm using TipTap in the front end, which is a prose mirror based rich text editor. So it's using prose mirror as a backend, if you may. Prose mirror, if you don't know, is the API for building rich text editors in the browser, which is incredibly difficult task. One of the hardest tasks is literally in the web development field, in the front end, is building good text editors. So I'm using TipTap, which is basically an abstraction over it. Yes, okay. And what this function here does, it loops through the JSON of TipTap, and it tries to find the tags in there. The tag is called mention, so just so you know, what is a tag? Well, if I go to Programmer Network and press hashtag, these are the tags, right? Then I write some text, whatever. So now when I push this JSON data to the API, I need to find these tags in the text itself, right? And this is what this function does. It says, hey, if there's no data, just return uncategorized tag. This is the tag that you guys don't see. But whenever you create some content in Programmer Network and you don't tag it yourself, I assign it to uncategorized, which everybody right now follows, every single user. And then if I do find something, we're saying, hey, loop through all of the leaves or whatever, all of the objects in this TipTap JSON file, and then search for mentions. If there's a mention, then push this to this mentions. Or actually, this is shitty implementation. I'm mutating here. I don't like how I implemented this. Let's actually fix that. Why am I, fuck, dude. Come on, Alex. That sucks, asshole. Yeah, that's not good. Why am I mutating that? That's pretty terrible, actually. Come on, dude. Nah, that's pretty bad, dude. Come on. What? Really? What? Give me 1 second. It's this. I think I have a command for font. Yes, I do. All right, that's weird. That's weird. Okay. Anyway, let's fix that a bit. Let's improve it. I hate mutable code. It leads to disasters very often. Okay. Oh fuck. Never mind. It's a recursive function. It's a recursive function. That's why I need it. Okay, I'm not an idiot. I'm not a complete idiot. Never mind. All good. Because this is recursion, right? Because you can have tags inside of the nested subarrays, nested vectors dimensions inside of the JSON. I had to write this in a recursive way, right? So you can see the reason why I need the mentions passed as a second argument to this function is because we need to pass the existing mentions as we recurse, right? All good. I thought I was an idiot, but I'm a genius. Okay, never mind. So humble and genius. Okay, cool. All right, great. Simplaren, hey. No, I stored the JSON. I stringified the JSON. I can actually show it to you. If I go to my database here to Programmer Network Development, if we go to thoughts, and if we inspect one of them, this is how they're stored, right? And this is a very good question, actually. It's a very, very good question. Why store it? So this is how I store it. So so the reason why I think it's amazing, so the reason why I think that, okay, there's two reasons why I think, yeah, this is what TipTap this is what the editor takes. Yes. So why is this awesome? So why would I personally, from my experience, suggest people to store this? No, everything is here. It doesn't matter if it's bullet points, right? Like, I can show you how that looks like, right? So if I come here, let's actually go to, let's come here and say bold and code, right? So let's say const a is 22, function foo. Is this actually a single line, or I don't see it from here? Let's actually go maybe over here. Never mind. Let me actually not fall short with this. The point is, every single serious rich text editor stores data in this way, and then you need to understand what a leaf is, what a how you. Let's not get into a tutorial of TipTap. Then I'm gonna diverge fundamentally a lot. The question was, how do I store it? Do I store the HTML or do I store the JSON? I store the JSON, and I wanted to elaborate why, just so I don't give you a shallow answer. The reason why I store the JSON is actually, there's several reasons. I think at least 3 that I can think about. Number 1 reason is that I can just retrieve the same JSON and then render it in my editor natively. I don't need to do any crazy conversions. Number 2 is if I implement, let's say, Elasticsearch or any other searching database, or any other search algorithm, it's very easy to search for things in here versus HTML. And lastly, this is completely decoupled from your styles. So this is the beauty of this versus HTML. Typically, a lot of HTML payload is going to be stored with the class names, IDs, etc., etc., etc. If you wanted to change or update your UI, you have to clean up, do migrations on all of your data. Whereas here, there's no styling. This is just content. This is my editor content. My editor decides how. Actually, you can go to the open source stuff that I wrote, and you can see how I did it. If you go to Yale, here, this is open source, right? This is the front-end library I wrote for, component library I wrote for Programmer Network. If we go to inputs here, and if we go to TipTap, you can actually see the implementation I wrote here. There's a lot of awesome stuff in there, in case you care. But if you want this thing that's fully sanitized, secure, blah, 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 all of the shit, you can find it in that link. So this whole thing is there. And actually, one thing that I'm seeing, I'm not on the master branch, or I actually didn't pull or something. What happened here? What? Really? No, something's wrong. What? Give me 1 second. Something feels a little bit off here. Let me take a look at package.json of frontend. Oh, fuck, I didn't restart my Docker container because I'm running everything in Docker Compose. So that's the problem. Shit, I'm like, why I don't see the latest changes in my frontend? Let's restart the container, right? That's why. Crap. Because I'm not binding the volumes in my Docker Compose for this thing in a proper way, if you may. Yeah, okay, now I can see that this thing is updated. Okay, cool. Anyway, let's get back. I have no idea what I was doing. Ah, yeah, I remember now. Okay, cool. So, okay, cool. And essentially, this guy is complaining, is like saying, hey, Alex, what are you talking about, man? There's no tags. There's no tags in here. And here we can actually say tags, I tag, as and basically, you could say almost an extra resource, which this guy then should kind of stop complaining about, I hope. Ah, it's a partial I thought. I see. Which is kind of true in a way. Okay, and I think this was wrong. Wait, I actually don't remember all the syntax all the time. It's so much shit I have to memorize. Right. No, not the. I don't think so. Honestly, no, not at all. So think about it this way, right? Let me give you a perspective on strictly typed languages, right? And let me also give you a perspective of writing unit tests, end-to-end tests, integration tests, any sort of tests, right? It's all about, yes, you do spend some extra time up front, but on long run, you save a lot of time and money and your job potentially, right? So of course that dealing with types at certain times does slow you down. I mean, temporarily, right? That's like wanting to lose fat, right? I mean, for a long time you're gonna be, hungry or whatever if you try, to not eat and stuff, or going to the gym or whatever. So it's a cumulative thing, right? Oftentimes, it's gonna feel like, or imagine you start going to the gym. It's gonna feel not like nothing. Oh, I'm wasting time. This is right. But accumulatively over time, you're gonna see massive gains. So it's the same with types, right? If you isolate yourself to a single instance like this, you could say, oh man, why even waste fucking time with this? But on a long run, it helps a lot, right? So that is always the battle, right? So I think, so this, for sure. I mean, everything is an investment, right? So that is the beauty and the burden of making technical decisions, and this is what you get good over time. Over time, as you make sufficient amount of decisions, you realize that every decision you make is always the right and the wrong way at the same time. There's not a single technical decision you'll ever make that's not going to be wrong in some sense. And you just want to be more right than more wrong, right? But every single time, no matter what you do, pick a database, pick a programming language, hire a person, whatever you do, you will always make a mistake to some degree. There's no tool out there, right? Do you sometimes take shortcuts? No, I do not. No. I'll waste 3 hours if need be, because then, like, once you do the shortcut once, twice, 3 times, 5 times, like, you need to have principles, right? Once you give up on these principles, you lost, right? So the problem is that's like cheating on someone. Like your girlfriend or boyfriend cheats on you. Oh, it's just this time. Nah, is it really? So it's the same shit here. If you embrace the bad practices, you either embrace them or you don't. I don't think that there is a middle ground, because if you're like, let me show you what. I can just come here and say, you know what, whatever, I can just say tags, whatever, right? Or whatever fixes this. And then, over time, you have accumulatively, right? You will accumulatively just defeat yourself. So that is the problem. Okay, but actually, give me one sec. I don't... Actually, let's take a look at the table. I don't remember the table when I made it. It's been very, very long ago. So let's take a look at the table first and foremost. Yeah, fuck, the table doesn't have tags. What? So why am I doing what I'm doing? That makes absolutely no sense. I think what I was trying to do potentially, and maybe I have a junction table. Yeah, I have taught tags table, right? Fucking idiot, man. Yeah, right? Yeah, this is it, right? So why Yeah, so we don't actually need that there, right? So this is our junction table. We're connecting the tag ID and a thought ID, right? Okay, very good, very good. And then actually, as you can see, I'm prematurely doing some of this crap, right? So these tags, I should probably move here before we actually, yeah. Okay, very good. So at this point in time, what is this? This is create thought, right? Yeah, okay, cool. So if we go back here, create thought. So let's move it up here with the rest of the guys that we already refactored here, right? So we're gonna comment this bad boy out. We're gonna go here, handler, bam, boom, boom, blam, blum. Here we are actually requiring user to be logged in, so we don't need to compose the question like this. We can just say const ID is, and then we're gonna cast here because I didn't find the proper way yet to type this in it with Fastify, unfortunately, and we'll need to do that. So let's fix that import there so it's not broken. Sure. And then over here we need to provide the type, right? So we're gonna say body is I thought body, which we need to import, of course. And yeah, that should kind of suffice. If we clean that up a bit, request body. Sure, create thought. Let's take a look at the schema. Body is here. We need expect the tags and the content. I don't think this is correct though. I don't think this is correct because we are deriving the tags from the content. So we'll probably need to update that in a second. Give me a moment. So I don't think that's correct. Yes, certainly it cannot be correct. So I'm sure that we're only pushing the content there, right? All right, let's take a look at that. This is probably gonna fail now if we try. So let's try pushing this crap. And we're gonna take a look at the payload and the HTTP. Yeah, so it's failing, which is good. Comment count, okay, that's wrong. Okay, good. So first and foremost, we need to update this bad boy here. Yes, and then most likely we failed because of the response, right? So our response schema farted out a little bit there. So, and that's perfectly fine. So if I go to create.schema and we take a look at the response, probably gonna have a comment count that's expected to be returned when we create a new thought, which also is fine, which I also will respect in fact. And I'm gonna go as far and actually do the same thing that we did before, which is over here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say something such as spread the thought dot to JSON, which is the Sequelizer's native thing. And then I'm gonna say comment count is 0. I would much rather have a strict schema, so even when I create a resource, it returns the actual comment count, which we know is gonna be 0, of course, because we just created a thought, right? And boom, if we do it, it should kind of work. Yes, it does. Let's make sure we're not leaking any sensitive information, that our security is still there. If you were to make an app like Google Notes, would you make it JS, React, or Dart? I don't think it matters, man. I would probably do it in JavaScript simply because that's the language I probably know the best from all languages that I write. And two, I can ship the app to Android Store, Google Store, and web app with the same code base, right? That's very difficult to do with anything else, right? So you can use you can use PVA Builder. So you can wrap your front-end application, like, I don't know if you guys know, but the Programmer Network also has a mobile app as well. I haven't pushed it yet to Android and iOS Store. But the beauty of JavaScript, it has nothing to do with performance or any crap like that. It's just you can build your JavaScript app and ship it to all major app stores out there, which is absolutely incredible. Because if you have ever worked in a cross-team environment, and nearly every single job of mine was working with multiple teams, you will know how difficult it is to build the same app 4 or 5 amount of time. So we need a team that builds it for Windows. We need a team that builds it for Mac OS, for Chrome OS, whatever, right? So the main beauty of JavaScript is that if you're building a website, web app, whatever, you can build an Android app, iOS app, and a web app with same exact code base. And that is insanely fantastic, right? No, I'm not talking. No. Progressive web app is just a native web thing. You just write a manifest JSON file and that's it. So it's not a framework. It's just defining some metadata for your application, and that's it. So if you go to PVA Builder, which is not the official thing, it's just, if you go over here, basically you just paste in your PVA manifest JSON file, and that's it, right? So like I have a programmer network app on my phone here, right? Here it is, and this is literally our web app. So you can see I have a phone application, which is exactly the same code base. It's just a progressive web app. You can see there's no browser URL in there, whatever, right? So that's it. And that is a massive, massive win if you like to build things and ship them without depending on other teams, because you need money to build, things for multiple platforms, right? It is running the web browser under the hood. It is. So basically, on Android, it's using something called Bubble Wrap, and Bubble Wrap is the official Android's way to wrap a PVA application into a native application, right? So you see, Bubble Wrap is a set of tools and libraries designed to help developers to create, build, and update projects for an Android. I mean, Facebook. When you download Facebook application from the store, Facebook application is this, right? So keep in mind, if a fucking $100 billion company can use this and be sufficient with it, then probably we can as well, right? How optimal is to query Grafana metrics and show the graph within our own view admin? Before I answer that question, Bajosi, can you give me a context? Why would you want to do that? Can you just tell me why, and then once you give me a why, I'll try to answer. Because I'm interested into your use case. Why would you do that? Okay, I'll need to fix that. My PO is stupid and wants a single dashboards for all. I would personally not do that. I think that's a pretty bad idea, honestly. I think that Grafana is insanely powerful to... Okay, first, let me make a step back. Sorry. I apologize. Let me make a step back. So, you have a use case where you either have to... Okay, actually, let me try to be useful, right? If it's absolutely mandatory that you can't convey how stupid that idea is to your PO, right? And you absolutely must do it, then your performance shouldn't be your concern, right? It should rather be spending significant amount of time rebuilding the features that Grafana already provides, right? Alternatively, you could embed the Grafana in an iframe and then render the iframe as part of your existing dashboards. That way you can change some static files from Grafana, style it to fit your own product. So in simple words, let me show you. If we go to a diagram, right? Hopefully if it opens up here, yeah. So what you could do, I don't know why the theme is fucking white. It makes absolutely no sense. Give me 1 second. Where can I... So weird. Why is it white? It's kind of... I actually don't dislike it. It's just killing my eyes a little bit here. All right, never mind. So what you could do is... This is your app, your own application, what I would do if I'm absolutely forced to do that, just embed the dashboard. So embed the iframe. So embed your Grafana source and then your Grafana URL. And then make sure to style the Grafana. So wherever this is running, this Grafana URL, style that to fit the rest of your product, right? So this is your own dashboards, right? This way, you're still interfacing with Grafana. You're not rebuilding things. You're not wasting any amount of time, while that asshole still gets to look at the same dashboard, right? All right, cool. I hope that helps. All right, great. We're kind of getting there. I'm very happy with the stream because very balanced amount of questions. I like that a lot. Okay. So let's go over here and let's continue. So we have this bad boy here. Hopefully our amazing AI is going to help us not to waste any time with this crap. Yes, nice, nice, very nice. Sure, yeah, why not? User ID. Sure, yeah. Yeah, why not? That's super simple, which inherently has to be, right? Okay, cool. And then we have the update, right? Ah, so nice. Let's just have smack a handler in here. Bam, bam, bam. Bloom, bloom, bloom. Yes, nice, nice, nice. Yeah. Let's add a type. Update the type, right? Params, the body. And then this expects an object, right? It looks like this. And yeah, and let's destructure this so it looks a little bit nicer. And let's do the same with the URL parameters, right? Yes, cool. Sure, yes, yeah, great. You could say this could be a nicer type or whatever. Let's actually go to our schemas over here and let's say update or something. Do we update thought schema? Yeah. So let's say export type. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Actually, no, never mind. It's okay. Let me not. Let's not get lost in our own buttholes here. Okay, cool. So let's see. Yeah, sure. Let's check that if it works. So let's go here and let's say this. Beautiful. I thought about embedding, but I think Grafana embeds are public. It might not be secure. I'm not sure what you mean, right? There are many browser has many security flags and etc. to help you with that, right? So you could kind of figure that out. You could, I don't know if you're using some gateway, like if you're using some reverse proxy gateway, you could add some authorization, authentication to it as well. There are many ways to do that, right? What I'm trying to do is tell you the most effective way I would approach if somebody would ask me to do a stupid idea and they weren't reasonable enough to understand that it's stupid enough, right? So the worst thing you can do time-wise, unless they're absolutely fine with you spending significant amount of time building existing plots and dashboards and blah, blah, blah. If that's your job and they're willing to pay you for that, then you could just as well say, sure, I'm going to spend a year if you want doing that. But from your own heart and soul perspective, so you don't evaporate into the void, right? You probably want to do something that's pragmatic and reasonable. Or if they're insisting again, so I don't have the context, to be honest with you, fully to understand how the situation is. But if somebody insists on something as stupid as that and they don't want to let go, then you might as well just say, you know what, fuck it, I'll just do it. I don't care. So it's kind of up to you to make such a decision, right? Oof. Okay, never mind. All good. Never mind. My brain just, yeah, all good. We're almost done with this. Sure. Yeah. My brain literally produced that randomly. I don't even know if that's valid English, right? I just spoke out of my asshole, to be honest. But it sounded super smart. You know, like when you use complex words in language, even if you just sound smart, sometimes it's just efficient. Like last night when I was looking at the sky in the evaporated space over the physical dimensions, it was super cool. And everybody's like, wow, dude. What the fuck? This guy's so smart. And then while I was looking at the galactical interference of the planetary species, I was thinking, wow. You get what I mean? Anyway, sorry. Apologize for that mind fart. It just happens time to time that... Can you see the oldest? No, you can't. No. I mean, yeah, that would be maybe expensive. I don't know how because I mean, this platform is not popular or anything like that, but still, you know, there's probably a few thousand posts by now, right? Tesla engineer, hey buddy, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a while, man. Well, it's not that I'm streaming either myself, but good to see you, dude. I hope you're fine, dude. Nice. I like it a lot. Sure. I don't trust AI 2%, so I need to guide it, right? I need to guide it so it doesn't mess. It's fascinating, it's perfect, but it can fail miserably. So I need to be very careful that it doesn't fuck up. Notifications, sure. Notify like. Huh, interesting. Ooh. All right, actually this interface I should centralize somewhere. Why did I not do that already? So weird. And what do I do here? Good, man, good. Been with my wife and kid today, as basically as always, if I guess. Yeah, not much to say. I'm gonna hang out a little bit more with you guys, then gonna spend the evening with my wife. We're also waiting for another kid, another baby in a couple of months, so kind of like to yeah, be around now. Not much to say, man. Just showing up here in Twitch every now and then. Yeah, that sums it up for me. Not much change, honestly. Thank you, man. Thanks. I think she's 5th or 6th month now. So in July, 25th of July, we're expecting another kid. So yeah, that's kind of it. Work, still going to work, still enjoying it, running my team at work. I run a team of 6 or 7 people, as you know. And yeah, that's more or less it, right? All right, and then we have my notification system that I built actually with one other guy as well. So let's just, man, I'm so happy to be rewriting this a bit because I can finally kind of have absolute mental sanity, how would you say it, over this. It's just been so long since I wrote this, and now I can just, so simple. And yeah, I mean, so this naming convention here also is kind of, you could say, almost wrong a bit, because to like a thought, you really need to be logged in. But because this is a service now, not a code that directly lives in a controller, you could say that this service now I could reuse to like a thought by any user, which then I don't think that's gonna happen, right? So let's actually, let's just be a little bit more explicit here, because even though this is a service that I can call anywhere, it's not really bound to a specific place in the code base, we still know that I'm not gonna use this to just randomly like someone else's thing, right? So let's be careful here. Thought author ID. So are we doing a left join somewhere? No, actually we have an author ID. Shit, give me a second. Where is it? Ah, yeah, here. So we have a thought. Let me actually take a look at the table. I don't remember. Let's take a look at show table. Yeah. User, yeah, author ID, it is there. Okay, good. I don't remember, honestly, so it's fine. Okay, and then this guy's complaining that potentially the author ID might be undefined if, of course, the thought is not found, right? So it's actually weird. Let's actually do a basic validation here as well, even though likelihood of this. Will you play any guitar today? I could be after the stream, yeah. So let's actually do this, and then we're gonna fix this issue implicitly, right? Mainly because, yeah, here we're saying, hey, if somebody tries to like a thought that doesn't exist, we're gonna exit early here by throwing. So that's perfectly fine. Okay, good. And we have one more left, and we're good. We're good. Yes, like thought. And we have only one, which is this bad boy here. Ah, so nice, man. So nice. Let's go. And actually, let's just replace this with a service, as we just did in other places, and that's fantastic. I have heard that as well. It's for sure must be true. For sure it must be true. Yeah. Okay, cool. And then lastly, actually, it's weird that, okay, let's just, okay, let me just paste this bad boy here. The only thing that right now is problematic is notify like doesn't seem to be returning the proper type because we haven't gotten to rewriting this yet, right? Even though we should say that this does, this is an event emitter. Yeah, I remember now. This is an event emitter. So technically, yeah, I mean, it is true because we don't, like, we're not using pubsub or RabbitMQ or any kind of, it's an event-based system. We don't have any fancy retry mechanisms or whatever, and this is not resolving a promise. So we push this to a queue, and then if that's gonna be popped off the queue or not, we don't know, but it does work really well. So actually, so this is in fact correct. We don't actually wait for this, because we're gonna say, hey, notify the user, and then it might, hopefully it will, but actually it might not as well do it. That's why you use things such as pubsub and stuff to ensure to have basic things such as retry mechanisms and stuff like that, right? No, please disrupt me, please. That's why I'm here, guys. I mean, I don't stream much, so I'm very happy when people ask questions, because I might stream again in a couple of days or a week, or I don't know. So please, if you have anything, it's always happy to get new people to the stream, new people to programming network platforms. So of course, I'm here to try to convert some of you to sign up. There's no hiding there. Not to but what do you think about using AI at work? Like, I had a presentation where they basically want us to use it as much as possible. We can ship features. Absolutely, I agree with your management. I think your management is absolutely correct. I think you should use it as much as possible, because at the end of the day, when we go to work, it's really all about the outcomes, right? Tesla engineer, you know that I've been streaming before, very long ago. I've been streaming actively. You remember when AI came out? I don't know if you were around. I said, this is, if you're going to use the AI or not, it's not a matter of choice. It's not a matter of preference. It's not a matter of personal beliefs. It's not a matter of morality of any kind. It's a must, right? If you're not using these tools, someone else is. And when you go to work, your main there are two main concerns when you go to work. If you're the founder, at least, can I pay the salaries? Can we survive? And actually, third, can we build this product and stay relevant, right? So you should absolutely use the AI. Now, of course, how you use the AI yourself can be debated, right? Like, do you just blindly copy-paste stuff, or do you try to use it to enhance your existing skills? Do you use it to improve the way that you learn, the amount you can learn? Of course, there's a massive space there for discussion. But should you use AI should not be asked ever again, right? AI has to be used. It's used by everybody. It is amazing. And as you can see in my stream, right? So every single thing that I just did with AI, it literally didn't solve a single problem for me, because I wrote this entire code initially. But one thing that it did solve is automation. If I was manually going and copy-pasting these things, renaming them manually, it would have probably taken me 5 times longer. It's simply because we cannot match the computer speed, right? So if I went, so this stream, right? We have refactored this whole thing to a slightly different syntax simply by me pressing tab. Of course, I gave it my own code that worked, and the business logic is correct. All the queries are fine. So for these types of things, I would go as far as say, if I didn't use the AI, I should probably label myself as a complete idiot, right? Because why would I not help myself, right? So absolutely, man, I agree with your management. And if you're ever in doubt, as I always say, just put yourself in a position of the founder, of the CEO, CTO, anybody who is investing their own money in the company, and ask yourself, would I want my employees to be more productive, right? And I think the question the answer is gonna be very, very simple, right? I think AI is absolutely fascinating. It's incredible. And I've been saying this since day one, pretty much. If you go to my very old streams, like when I started streaming on this platform, actually, yeah, I don't know when that was, but it's pretty much absolutely a miracle, right? Okay, we're done with that. We'll remove the reference finally to this crap. And this crap, bam, there we go. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, wait, let's see. Let me just take a look at my logs. API dev logs, yes. Still running. Okay, let me just double check a couple of things here. Just double check my imports. Let me close up a couple of files over here. What is this crap? That's some front-end related thing, sure. Okay, model. Let me review. No, this is my model. Okay, sure. Types, do I still need this? I don't think so. I'm gonna remove this file and hopefully my project will fail. I mean, I literally set up ChatGPT for my wife on her phone, and she's using it pretty much for everything, every single thing that she does, from learning a new language, cooking, checking stuff out. I installed Mistral, if you haven't heard, it's a European one, Mistral AI. I installed this on her phone. I think I'm paying $18 a month, and she you have unlimited Mistral. So this is the French startup from Paris, I believe. And you pay $18 a month, unlimited prompts, whatever. It's super quick, and she's using it. So absolutely, man, it's the world is moving forwards, and we should all be happy about that. Nothing negative to say there. Nothing honestly negative to say there. I'm actually very happy. Did I not? Okay, I didn't get to that point yet. Sure. We will We will. All good. Tag, I think we do have an I tag. Great. Any book content to improve logical thinking. I'm just getting into the code world, trying to find my place in it. Logical thinking, improve logical thinking. I don't think there's a book to improve logical thinking, to be very honest with you. I think logic as a concept is something you develop by some people inherently intellectually have logic more developed than others. This is without a doubt true. This is my belief, my experience. And number two, logic is developed by thinking, right? So maybe 10 or 15 years ago, I worked for an AI company for one guy called Eduardo Sirigar. He's a NASA scientist from Washington. I met him in Sweden when I was working in Sweden in an accelerator, in an incubator called Think in Mind Park. So I started working with him. He became my person that I probably respected the most in my career as an intellectual, as he is. He's a genius. And I worked on his AI project called Sophia AI. And Sophia AI back then was an attempt to build an app that guides people how to think, right? Because one of the fundamental problems with schools since the dawn of time is that schools still teach you information. They don't teach you critical thinking and problem-solving skills, right? So the only way to critically think and the only way to problem solve is to actually think and to problem solve, right? So you cannot read a book and be critical in thinking or become logical, right? I mean, of course you can read some books that help you with that, and you're probably going to become better than you already are. But in order to critically think, you need to surround yourself by people who think differently than you, people you disagree with, versus surrounding yourself with people who are ideologically the same as you. This is the biggest problem with the world today. You have basically people who put themselves into left and right, and then, like Jordan Peterson says, the psychologist and psychiatrist, he says, whenever you're talking to a person, let them talk just for 2 minutes. And you will know if you're talking to a person or to ideology. If it's the latter, if you're talking to ideology, don't even try, because that person already came armed to the discussion with predefined set of thoughts and beliefs, right? So for example, if you want to critically think, you need to get rid of your biases as much as you possibly can. We are all brainwashed to some degree. We are already biased. We already have our core values. But fundamentally, if you want to critically think, you need to let go of your biases and be open-minded to new ideas by other people. And these ideas can be fascist, it can be stupid, it can be great, it can be welcoming, whatever, but you need to open your mind to that, right? And that is fundamentally how you get there. I completely, let me just read a couple of more questions here. Give me 1 second. I completely agree, but I'm more aiming at juniors and everybody that's using it, basically abusing, let's say. Okay, let's discuss this. I actually recently recorded a YouTube video on this. So this is the response from Tesla Engineer. And actually, let me just share a video that I recently recorded for my YouTube channel. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 moment, please. Give me 1 second. How do I find my videos, man? Can you even write code? Yeah, this one. So when you guys get a chance later on, this kind of partially answers your question, Tesla Engineer, but let me just elaborate. Let me just elaborate a bit here, right? So okay, first and foremost, I agree with you, Tesla Engineer. I agree with you from some holistic, some abstract. I agree with what you wrote here from a perspective of detaching myself from reality and multiple variables, and kind of to some logic, from some logical perspective, I agree with you. For example, I'm more aiming at juniors that are using it and basically abusing it, blah, blah, blah. So let me break this down, and I think you're gonna agree with me. So let me tell you one thing. Look, let me put it this way, right? And please check out my video. It's only 5 minutes long. But let me break it down, right? So when you talk to your parents, right, today, or when you talk to your grandparents, they will tell you things like this. Back in my day, we were outside in the forest playing 20 hours a day, and children today, they're just sitting home with their phones and their computers, right? And I'm gonna get to a point in a second, just bear with me. The reason why they're saying this, and it's completely idiocracy, is because some of them don't realize that they did that because computers didn't exist. They barely had electricity at their homes, and life 50 years ago was very different than today, right? So what am I saying here? It's the same with these developers that are saying how juniors today are using AI. Let me shift this back differently. If you had AI when you were a junior, would you have used it, right? So would you have used it if you had it? Of course you would. Would I have used it 25 years ago when I wrote my first code? Of course I would have used it. I would have fucking died with it, right? So the biggest problem for me with these types of arguments, how juniors today are so dependent on XYZ, or let's actually not even use juniors, let's say kids today, teenagers today, right? There's always these types of arguments for thousands of years in human evolution. Like every fucking generation says, you remember that picture, right? When calculators came out, right? You had something like this. Math teachers protest because they think that calculators are going to make our children stupid, right? I'm not inventing this. You can actually find it on the internet, right? So you see, they protested because they thought calculators are going to kill us all, right? Today we have computers in our smartwatches, right? So the point here is this, right? Is that it's not a matter of right or wrong. It's a matter of reality, right? Like when a junior today goes to work, unless the employer says, hey, junior developer, I don't want you to use AI because I want you to fail and fail and fail until you learn the way that juniors used to learn, absolutely fantastic. I'm sure that every junior out there is going to say, absolutely, man, thank you. But that's not the case. So you cannot blame juniors for using technology that they're indirectly and often directly asked to use, right? But it doesn't matter if it's making you a better dev. That's exactly the point, right? I don't think that because this is the thing, right? Let me show you, right? Because I agree with you, but it's unreasonable. That's the problem. Let me show you, right? You have a let's put it this way, right? You have a, let's just say developer, or let's say junior developer. You have junior developer, right? And you have a company. You have a company business that employs this junior, right? Okay? So this guy here doesn't decide about the way that they're gonna work. This guy works today in a way that this guy here tells him to. So if this guy comes and creates a backlog of 47 tasks, right? If this guy comes and says, hey, John Doe, right? You have to do XYZ this week. And this guy has an expectation of certain kind. This guy doesn't decide much. This poor guy has to use all the tools they have, right? The only thing I want us to agree on, because we can disagree on many of the things, it's fine, that's the beauty, right? The main point is, like, you cannot ever blame somebody that you gave a job and the way in which they work. Like, you have to set the expectation as an employer and say, look, there's this amazing AI tool, and we understand that if you do use it, you're gonna produce more results. But no, wait a minute, we want you to grow in this firm and become a better developer, blah blah blah. You understand what I mean? So Tesla engineer It's the seniors and the management and the whole company that has to create the environment where this guy here can grow, right? This guy cannot just decide on its own how they're gonna work, right? It doesn't have that privilege anymore, right? So that is the problem. So this guy has to come to this guy and say, you know what, John Doe, take your time, don't rush, make sure you understand, blah, blah, blah. But who does that? Let's face it, right? How many employers do that? So this is the problem. So there's so much shit being thrown at this poor guy here that just graduated. I feel bad for these guys. I feel bad for this persona today, right? Because they're labeled with things, oh my god, these guys only copy-paste the code. It's like, come on, man. Show a little bit, let's show a little bit of empathy here and understanding. And trust me, I've been in this industry professionally for almost 20 years. And people have been copy-pasting code, some of them blindly, for decades in this industry. So let's please be careful. Let's not assume that people are copy-pasting code now. People have been copy-pasting code from Stack. The same code that you're copy-pasting now from the AI is the code that AI learned from the internet. Stack Overflow, forums, various types of places. So copy-pasting code without understanding it is not a new phenomenon. It's been a thing that's been happening for decades, right? So don't associate it that much to the AI, right? So yeah. But very, very interesting discussion. Very interesting discussion. I really like it. Very nice. This is Cursor. Yeah, this is VS Code. This is a fork of VS Code. I can show you. Absolutely, yeah. I can show you a couple of plugins. Of course, I'm using Docker. I also do infrastructure and stuff, so everything that I do is running in Docker. My Kubernetes server here at home and my programming network infrastructure, everything is done with Docker, Docker Compose, Grafana, Prometheus, Promptail, Loki, I think with a lot of stuff. Then I have a database client here. Actually, let's go to extensions here. Most of these are useless. So let me send a couple of them to you. So there's Turbo Console, must have. Turbo Console basically enables you to just keybind stuff like this. So you want to console log a variable, you highlight it, and you press a key binding, and then you can see I can just do these types of things. So there's this one that I highly suggest if you're writing CSS, if you're writing Tailwind, of course. There's this one as well. It's absolutely mandatory to have. Postman, of course, very useful. Docker, of course, and then this client, which in my opinion, for me personally, is the most useful one of them all. I use it for Redis, Elasticsearch, Postgres, MySQL, MongoDB, for nearly every database I use often. Excellidro, or actually, I don't use Excellidro, I use Draw.io. This is one of the most important tools if you are a software developer. Of course, hopefully you're drawing everything by hand. I have another video on YouTube where I talk about how I do things. I use pen and paper for the most part. And I think that sums it up more or less, right? I mean, I don't use much to say. I don't know if there's something else. And of course, there's GitLens, which, let me just type it here, GitLens. My pleasure, man, of course, thank you. And that's it. And I use a default theme, I think. I use the default theme, dark modern theme. Yeah, that's it. I like simplicity, I like readability over some spacey fucking bullshit colors and stuff. I like things that I can actually read with my eyes for several hours a day and not die mentally, right? And I always advise people to configure their editors. You know, I have also, I mean, I'm also using Vim, right? But not for, you know, like I have also a... I don't know, right? I also have a config for Vim, right? Let's actually go here. What was it? No, okay. But this Vim I would mostly use for server related stuff, right? Do you think knowing Vim made you code faster? Absolutely not. No, it has nothing to do with speed, because writing code faster is not a productivity optimization at all. Because if you assume that, then you're assuming that you're sitting 8 hours a day just writing code, right? Friends, thank you very much, man. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I don't stream much, unfortunately. Like, keep in mind that, okay, there's one fundamental thing. Actually, I think I'm going to round up the stream very soon. So let me just give you one tip. I actually have a video on my YouTube channel called Influencer Driven Development Programming Propaganda. And if you're young and watching the stream now, and if you're even not young, if you're just relatively new into the industry or not, I just have to give you one, probably the most important advice you will hear in this industry. Be very careful how you consume content, especially on platforms such as Twitch and YouTube, right? A lot of Twitch streamers on this platform, they're people who tailor content for one specific type of group of people, and they're about split keyboards, terminals, and stuff like that, right? And that's perfectly fine. If you like that, that's great. Just know one fundamental thing. Nobody cares on this earth what terminal you use, what keyboard you use, what mice you use, etc., etc. Right? So nobody cares. That's not going to give you any benefit in your career. So I'm not saying it's irrelevant. I'm just saying if you're in a position where you're looking for work, you're looking to get promoted, you're looking into tangible results through the financial gains and outcomes, these tools have no correlation to that. So for example, if you're wondering, should I learn Postgres or Vim, you should learn Postgres 17 billion times more than the Vim, right? If you want to have fun, right, and you want to feel like a hacker because you can memorize 400 different shortcuts, that's great for you. And if it makes you feel great, go for it and do it. So sometimes things also have to be fun and not just beneficial. So but I'm just saying these two have very fundamentally different functions in life. Are you using, right? So that's my point. So Twitch and these platforms, this is not a platform that realistically represents the value of programmers or building products. Most of the streamers here have shit tons of crap on their screens, terminals, animations and stuff because they want to be hackers, and that's fine. But that's not going to help you, right? So when you ask questions such as, should I learn Vim? Should I learn Rust? Should I learn Java? Should I learn anything? Make sure that you're asking that not from the place of influencers because somebody's feeding you this bullshit every day, but make sure you're asking the questions because there's some reasonable thing behind it. Because many people who come to my stream, and I stream not very often, right? I feel that many questions come from a place of influencers. Should I learn C, right? So learn something that's beneficial to you to become a better professional, right? Nobody cares about which text editor you're using. Nobody cares about which programming language you're using either, unless that language can do something beneficial for your life, right? Can feed your family like I do feed mine or whatever, right? So, and this is my pleasure, man, my pleasure. So this is the tip I can give to all of you. And if you want to do cool things, build a maze apps in terminal, go for it. But again, nobody cares, only you care, right? Nobody else can care about that, right? And this is the problem often I see with this platform, is that a lot of people are falling short for that, right? Exactly. I have a video on that on YouTube as well. If you ever are wondering about which programming language you should learn, if you're new to this industry, whatever, you have 2 or 3 ways to do that. You can go to Stack Overflow Trends. You can go to LinkedIn. Let's imagine you want to know Rust, right? You type Rust, and then Actually, you go to jobs, you choose the country or city. So let's say Copenhagen, that's where I live, in the center here, central area. And then I type Rust, right? So I'm gonna type Rust. So let's see if I type Rust developer in Copenhagen, I'm gonna get 240 results. Is this all Rust? Probably not, but probably some of them are, right? If I type React developer, I'm gonna get 117. Okay, if I type reactjs, I'm gonna get 508. If I type Haskell, I'm gonna get 211. If I type Clojure developer, you get my point. So you can do basic research. Anyway, I don't want to diverge way too much because I already did. Just figure out what's the most efficient thing for yourself at a given time in your career, right? All of us should be learning so many things. The main question is, should you be learning that now? And is there something more meaningful for you to learn now than whatever you're planning to learn, right? All right, cool, fellas. Very nice, very nice. Let's see what's happening here. So let's just do some sanity check here. So does this shit still works? Can I edit it here? Yes. Can I actually... Phil, I think... Actually, that's a good question, to be very honest with you, Phil. I think we should do that soon, yeah. It's just, as you notice, Phil, I'm not streaming much. I stream just 3-4 times a month, unfortunately. So it's just been... And I also just want to focus on Programmer Network a bit as well. Did we actually... Yeah, we had one person. Actually, by the way, please, guys, if you have a minute... Yeah, I mean, I started writing a guide on Kubernetes as well here. It's if you go to kubernetesprogrammer.network, you can see, because I have a Kubernetes cluster here in my office. But I don't know, Phil. Let me plan that, and next time we see each other, I'm gonna tell you. I don't actually know right now, but it's a very good question. Would it be a good idea to add Google login? There's actually a very good reason why I'm not adding a Google login, and that's mainly validation, right? Because majority of the bots are using Google, right? And it's very hard for me to validate that they're real people. Whereas GitHub, you have to be... So if you want to log in or sign up through GitHub, yeah, 99.999% of people don't need Kubernetes. That's absolutely factual, yes. Exactly, Phil, exactly. So there's a good reason why I'm not supporting Google login, and again, that's because of bots. Because if you want to log in or sign up through Twitch, LinkedIn, or what else do I have? Twitch, LinkedIn, GitHub. Each one of these accounts has to be verified, right? So there is a reason why Google is not there. Cassie, my friend, good evening. Good to see you, dude. Hello, do you think meditation and coding have some kind of correlation? Can it be beneficial to take some time to meditate and then learn to slow hand? I don't think so, no. Honestly, no. Again, I would be careful to ask me about some of these things. I'm by no means an expert in anything in life, let alone that. But no, I think programming is a very simple thing. Programming is the hardest and the easiest thing on earth, like everything else. It's a grind. You have to sit and you have to do it, and you have to build and build and build. It's the same with carpenting. It's the same with everything else, right? You just have to build things. There's no silver bullet. A lot of people are seeking for shortcuts when it comes to programming. What if I sniff cocaine, right? What if I do this? There's no, man. You just need to put in the work, and that's it, You need to. It's hard, and like everything, like everything fascinating and great in life, everything in life that has some value takes time, right? So there's no shortcuts. There's no buy this course and become a programmer, etc., etc. These things don't exist, right? You need to put in the work, and if you don't put in the work, you will fail. And what the fuck happened here? Give me 1 second. Ismail, good evening, buddy. How are you doing? Huh. I see. Okay. So you know what? Then let's revert the model, just because then I don't have to solve that now, because that's a different problem. So let's not solve that right now. Okay, and let me just see. I taught schema service. This is the front end, so that's okay. That's okay. That import is fine. Can I like? Yeah, sure. Okay. We have extended the type with this new decorator we created. I like that. Yeah, man. Yeah. Unfortunately, man, streaming, besides having fun and having pleasure talking to you guys, it's very useless in every other way, right? So if it had any financial or any other gain, I would probably do it more. I mean, there's no secrets in this stream, right? Unfortunately, streaming is a massive consumption of time with very little gain, except, again, having fun with you guys. So, the demographics here, most people can't afford to even spend $5 a month on the stream, right? Which I absolutely get, but then it doesn't help either, right? So it's just as it is. It's a very, very inefficient way to spend your time, right? And I mean, even signing up in Programmer Network, or even doing the minimal stuff that people could do in 3 seconds, many people don't do, right? So fundamentally, at the end of the day, you say, okay, well, why am I doing this? Like, what it is here for me? Because sure, some people are gonna like the stream, they're gonna get their questions answered, and when they no longer have questions, they will no longer come around, right? But you, as the one doing the streams, you have to ask yourself, well, all right, that's great for others, but what it is for me, right? So that's why I just stream randomly like this when I feel like, and that seems to be working the most for me. All right, let's push this to production, and then if it works, we're gonna round up soon. Let's go here. Actually, let me go. Chandler, thank you very much, buddy. That's very kind of you, man. Thanks. Happy that you're enjoying the stream, man. All right, let's wait for our CI. Hopefully, I didn't fuck anything up. Hopefully, we're gonna manage to deploy. Great, and then I'm actually not sure. Let me go to production and just test. I think there's some regression that I introduced. So actually, ironically, in production it works, but locally when I tried, or maybe actually that's because I think it's fine I think it's fine locally as well. I think it just I didn't actually restart the Docker container. No, actually locally it's still fucked. So weird. Why? Yeah, that's so strange. Okay, let's maybe fix the front end as well. Okay, now it worked. And that's actually very good. Okay, let me try to reproduce this shit. So, is it random? Like, because I wanted to fix this, somebody reported this bug before. And, Wait. Nice, okay, good. This is very good. Fuck yeah. Because then we can fix it, right? So let's, what is it? Let's go to feed. Let's do a little bit of front end here. So if we go to my front-end component here, what do we have? Get articles. We have some SEO component, content widget. Yeah, sure. Then we're gonna have nav link to somewhere. What else do we have? Join the developer community, nav link, content, article, thoughts. Okay, sure. Then I have my infinite scroll. I have my actually this is a very nice open source library I wrote. Give it a shot if you need something like that. I wrote this library for Programmer Network. So actually, if you give a crap, give it a shot. That's just a validation library. Okay, so going back here. So this is handle create. I call the validate. I say it's creating true. I call my HTTP service directly so that it's not going through Redux. And then there's this shitty use what is this called? I don't remember. It's called fuck. Where is it? No, sorry, that's wrong. That's the wrong project. It's called SVR. Yeah. So that could be problematic a bit, right? Handle create, we call the service, we await for it, we call the mutate here, we try to find the item in the list to update it. And then actually, yeah, fuck, let's actually fix that. Sure. And then we clear the editor content by providing the ref to tip tap, and then we reset the form. Why using Axios? There are several reasons, and also when I started this project, that native thing didn't exist. And Axios is, I would still use Axios over it either way, right? Because Axios has a insanely good plugins and community, which it doesn't, especially on the back end. On the front end, it does matter, you could say, because of the size of the library, right? In the back end, it doesn't really matter much. Okay, bear with me just for a second. And fuck, I need to also fix that. This is very, very good. Very good. I'm actually very happy that I found this thing. Let me actually did we successfully deploy this to production? Yes, nice, okay. Let me just test the production here. Nice, still works. Okay. All right, very good. Okay, let me just fix. Actually, why is this happening locally though? I don't get it, and not in production. Here we get the log, okay? Then we call this mutate, I suppose. Let's actually see, do we even get to this point? Thought created. I believe I do have some rate limiting, yeah. Thought created successfully. What kind of operating system you use? I use MacBook Pro for my work. This is my streaming machine, so I'm streaming from Windows because none of these things work on Linux. Microphone doesn't work, my lights don't work, my Stream Deck doesn't work because there's no drivers. So yeah. And it absolutely doesn't matter which operating system you're using. Nobody cares. You can edit everything. Yes, of course. So this actually works. So why is this ref not working? So it seems that the current, maybe the ref is lost, right? So let's, maybe there's something wrong with the reference. It has to be. The only assumption I have right now is that the reference to TipTap is wrong, right? I do, yes. I'm using AppSmith, yeah, but that's not something I can reveal over the stream because of PII data and stuff like that, right? But I'm using, so you really have two solutions. You can use AppSmith, right? Or you can use Retool. But whatever you do, you never want to build dashboards, internal dashboards yourself. That is the massive, insanely huge waste of time. I'm not talking about side projects. I'm talking about even enterprise companies don't want to build their own internal dashboards. That's a massive waste of resources, time, human labor, and stuff like that. Because these dashboards are only beneficial to you, to your CS, your sales, your marketing, whatever. So in these circumstances, you don't want to build these things, right? You want to use the something like Retool or AppSmith or whatever to solve that problem. So that's the only thing I would never build, even in insanity. So there's something wrong with the tip state. I'll fix this maybe another time. So, a programmer network is not open source, no. A bunch of libraries that I wrote, they are. You can find many. Some of them I shared this stream. But it's not an open source project, no. Ah, shit, man, I know what the problem is. Crap, that's so weird. That's so weird. I think it's, I believe it is, give me 1 second. I think I know. Shit. I think I know what the problem is. That's why it's happening locally, right? It is the strict mode, right? Because we are getting double renders locally, right? So for some reason, when this re-renders, right? Okay, I was almost certain it's that. Fuck. So strange, man. Alright, never mind. Maybe I don't have to solve that now. Also, we have this mutate, which probably I will get rid of once we get to that point of just cleaning up some stuff from before. Okay, I need to review this. I'm sorry. Yes, that's correct. So we're gonna get the list here. Also, this is fucking useless, right? This D is the current. Give me 1 second. I just need to. I just need to yeah. So D is basically the, how do they call it internally? They call it, yeah, they call it data, okay. Well, that's not a, so we're saying take the existing data and push the created one on top, right? That's correct. Then return this, and then this false was for some cache setting or whatever, okay? I would also like to solve this one. Let's actually just go to the API again and just get create the best content which I mean thank you, man. I'm glad that you like it. Thank you very much. I think it depends who you ask, right? But it's at least it's something that you will do for sure at your real job, right? So what you will for sure find in this stream, without a doubt, is reality, right? Now, if that's not what you're seeking for, some people seek for entertainment and other shit, which is also fine. That's different. But one thing I can for sure tell you is that if you want to yeah, then for sure, yeah. Okay, so I actually dislike this. I dislike this, and will improve that slightly because I have my own custom error called AJV validation error. So I'm gonna actually do here, I'm gonna say throw AJV validation error, and I'll do more or less, yeah, so let me see, because I'm writing this almost like Golang. This is not idiomatic JavaScript. This is how you would write Go. You would always, you would treat errors as first-class citizens, right? So here, we can see that my image uploading, whatever, also has its own error. And if I go deep down into there, we'll probably see somewhere here that, yeah. Sure, yeah. I guess for now, sure, yeah, right. I'm gonna show you what this does very soon. And we're gonna do probably the same over here. The only issue why you could say you would not do this, you would not kind of override the original errors, is that you at the very least want to push them to all the way down to your error handler or whatever, and then at least log them to your login service to Prometheus or whatever, right? But anyway, it doesn't matter. Here we can just show some. Let's say there was an error while creating the thought. Please try again for now, right? Sure, okay. And this system I built works flawlessly with my front end. That's why I'm doing here. So now here my UI knows how to handle this type of error. So I'll just fix this stuff very quickly. We cast this thing in here. You need to work on something. Not really. I'm actually very happy with the SEO of Programmer Network. I don't honestly think there's any problem there. Every single page we have is indexed if we go to sitemaps, right? So I don't think that there's really a necessity to do anything more there, right? We can see that we have a bunch of pages. Of course, we don't have much traffic, right? But yeah, you can see we have 283 pages indexed on Google. It's a single page app, right? And we have the sitemaps as well, so you can actually access the sitemap here. So when it comes to that sort of stuff, I don't think that there's much I can do, except maybe server-side render some stuff if need be. But I've done everything that you can do yourself. SEO is meaningless without content, and majority of the content you get from is usually, if you're very lucky, it's organic search. You have like a platform with a bunch of awesome content, and then paid search, which is Google and other search engines, and of course paid ads. Yeah. What is this type? I don't remember. Did I create this validation bad request? Ah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's this one. Okay, I know. I remember now. Yeah, maybe, yeah. Yes. Very good. Neo, hey buddy. Long time no see, man. Okay, and then my custom hook, my validation library that I wrote, has the set errors, which should be fine, right? So in theory now, if we test this with our API, right, I'm actually just gonna go and explicitly throw an error in here. So we should get it as soon as we try to post. Yeah, content, and I think the main reason why we're not setting it properly though, here in the UI, or where was it? Here, right? Somewhere. Chica, my friend, good evening. Let's see, am I passing the actual error down here? I am. That's weird, so why is it not? Give me one second. Console.log error, yes. Sure. Yeah, that's also weird. So some of these things we can... Wow, okay. But we're actually not... Ah, I see what's happening. Okay, very weird. Sure, sure. Let's actually get back here. Where were we? Over here, right? So this state... I see. Content. Is it content? Yeah. So content, sure, has text. We have some custom validators here. Ah, I see. So I'm not passing here the errors, right? I see, I see. No, never mind. I don't know why is this guy farting out. It makes no sense. Okay, so let's get over here. Let's say const server errors. Set server errors, error object, correct. Then we're gonna scroll a little bit. I need to create a custom hook for this or something like that, right? Because and then here we're gonna say, where was it? Yeah. So we're gonna say set server errors, sure. And that technically now should do it. And then server errors, we're gonna pass to my custom library that I wrote. So here we're gonna say errors. And if I remember, the errors was of error object type. That's what I wrote before. Very nice, very good. That all should be fine-ish. And then, let's see. Yeah, not so sure about that. The content is required, yeah, great. Yes, I am. Yeah, exactly. I am, yeah. I definitely am, yes. Sorry, I know that this might not be... Yeah, I've lubricated these switches. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. AJV validation error, very good. Content, so far so good. Error dot type is AJV validation error. Ah, that's the problem. Wow. Why did I... that's so weird. Yeah. Why did we miss that in the front end? Huh. Ah, I see. So it's custom errors enum. Sure. So this why, I see. And then this should be AJV validation error. I see. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, now we're getting the error from the API. Okay. Yeah, okay. I actually need to do something with this logic, turn this into some sort of a custom hook. But either way, good. So now we can see we're also handling that now. That's very good. Let's revert this. That's good. That's great. Let's try... Yeah, I mean, and then here, right? No, this has nothing to do with that. Like thought, this like maybe just maybe to be like, okay, let's just go a bit crazy here, and let's just say try this, and we're not actually gonna even catch the error. We can just omit that and say there was an error while updating the thought. Please try again, right? Exactly. And then let's just throw consciously here. Let's just say throw new error of test, whatever. How many lines of code? I don't know. I have no idea. Many lines. As Bill Gates said 30 years ago, measuring the progress of software by lines of code is like measuring the progress of building by weight. Oh, this is not a thought, this is a comment, sorry. Oh, this was actually editing, right? So if I edit, update. Yeah, okay, very good. Let's now just very quickly go here and handle create, handle. I mean, not fully, exactly. Exactly. I think Bill Gates just wanted to be smart, just as I attempted now, but kind of failed there a bit, right? All right, either way, I trust my own code for now. Is that naive? For sure, but that's what it is. Okay. Yeah. What is to say? I don't think we have still... How fast do you think you would have finished this? Like... So you have to keep in mind that the way that I build this project and the way that I speak my life and work philosophy are very two different things, right? Like if I wanted just to build this platform, for example, number one, I would have never streamed once, because in relation to building this, streaming is a massive waste of time, right? Like what I did in this stream, I would have done in an hour if I didn't stream, or less, right? And now I'm streaming for 3 hours, right? So it's a hard question to respond to, because if I was doing this in a lean startup way, ship fast and fail fast, I would have probably streaming gives you motivation. Maybe, yeah. I don't know. Honestly, no. Maybe it does. I'm not so sure. I would say it's a double-edged sword, right? So maybe, but yeah. It's hard to say, right? Because you have to understand, from my perspective and perspective where you are, many of you will be here now and you might never come again, right? And many of you, I will spend 20 minutes of my time helping some of you and you might never come again, which is fair enough, right? But again, going back to the point I made, why you're not streaming more, because it's very dissatisfying in many ways. It's satisfying in some ways of having fun. That is the satisfying part. But besides fun, because the problem is there's also a million other things that are fun that you can do. Like, so instead of streaming for 3 hours now, I could have done something else, spend time, right? So it depends, right? But again, if I wanted to just build this platform, I would have never streamed and I would have never built all of these libraries myself. I would have never built Yale, this component library. I would have just picked a bunch of pre-built stuff and failed very fast, right? So it depends how you look at it, right? I think it's very hard to say what if, because I would never, again, spend 60-70% of my time answering questions to people that I might never see again, and instead I would, spend the time building the platform, right? So anyway, to answer the question shortly, I would have built it very fast if I didn't, if this wasn't just fun, right? Fuck. I hate this logic, man. Oh, somebody actually asked a question, I'm sorry. In your country, is it easy to find a job as junior without experience? I'm scared because in Spain, this sector requires experience in all markets. I mean, I don't think it's easy to find a job as a junior in any industry, and it was never easy, right? Especially without experience. I'm not sure where it was never easy to find a job as junior, right? And of course, we would have to define what easy means, but nobody was ever throwing money on people without experience. Like, you have no experience, yeah, I don't. Oh, let me give you a job instantly. That never happened, right? It's just common sense. Is it a little bit worse now than before? Sure, maybe. But to say that it's like that now, it would be silly, right? You don't have any experience, you want a job? Yeah, yes, absolutely. Please let me throw money at you, because why not, right? No, never happened before. No business out there just cares about you, or vice versa, right? Like, everybody wants to get people that can get more work and value out. It's common sense. If I was hiring now for my own company, I would of course seek for a person with most experience. It's just logical, and every single one of you would do the same, right? If I'm spending my savings and my money, and I have a very limited time and space to succeed or fail, I would of course try to get the best person for the least amount of money. There's no really secret in that. I mean, if somebody tells you otherwise, they're just bullshitting you, right? They're lying. That's just common sense. I mean, if you can choose between a person with experience and person without experience, I mean, it's no brainer, right? All right, let's see, fellas, if there's any more questions. Very happy to chat. Otherwise, I'm off to spend time with my family. When we're gonna see each other, I don't know. Probably next week sometimes. I'm not sure. Whenever I feel like streaming. Maybe tomorrow, maybe in a week or two. I don't know. Do you think there will be World War III soon? No, there will not be any World War III, man. There will not be any World War III. I'm trying to not get political, but no, man. There's never gonna be World War III because West cannot afford that, nor people who live here where I live want that, right? So we're gonna keep exploiting and shitting on other countries and crapping on them. For, of course, our own gain, our own benefits, as we did for centuries. I'm being realistic. I think it's silly to assume there's going to be some large-scale war, man. Why would you think that? The thing is, like, I really have to leave with this thought. While we were bombing the shit out of Middle East and countries which are not close to us, nobody gave a crap, right? Everybody was closing the blind eye. Now when there's a war which is closer to Europe, everybody's losing their mind. That is so fucking hypocritical. It's so intellectually insulting that I want to vomit sometimes, right? There's not going to be any World War III or anything like that, simply because nobody benefits from that. And as humanity has done since our day one of existence, you're going to have empires as you have now, like the US, China. They're going to be shitting on small countries as they always did. They're going to have their vassals and their people that have to listen to what they say. And that's really it. So don't be silly. There's not going to be any wars. There's only going to be wars in non-Western countries so we can exploit them. And that's how it works. Very simple. Always has worked like that. And always will work like that. What do you think about native Android developer? I mean, I don't know. What is to think? I guess I think there's massive amount of apps for Android, so it's probably a good thing to learn. Yeah, but no space for dramatizing and no space for. Don't waste your energy on politics and stuff. Nothing in politics has changed, right? Nothing in politics has changed. It's still world powers, big ones, shitting on small ones, and that's how it works, and that's how it always has worked. The only difference now, it's a little bit closer to us, so we're shitting our pants. For demand in future, you would have to do the research, man. I have no idea, to be honest. I'm not some sort of a self-proclaimed guru or anything like that. I'm just another random guy on the internet, right? So I would be very, very careful listening to me or anyone else in these types of predictions. Keep in mind, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. Yeah, so that's how it is. I have, Leo. I left you a comment. I actually read it quickly. I'm gonna read it again. All right, fellas. Not to get too political here or anything like that. We had a very nice stream. Let's just just focus on yourselves and focus on the things you can control in life. Surround yourself with people who are kind, people that you can learn from. Surround yourself with people that you can disagree with and learn something new. And don't put your energy in places that just waste your time and things like be proactive, not reactive. Don't bitch about things. And these are the things that I follow every fucking day. Donald Trump, Obama, this, that, who gives a fuck, man? They're all same assholes, exactly the same. They work all for the same elite. They're all rich. None of them give a tiny fucking shit about you or me. Zero. And once you understand these basic facts, and once you stop glorifying all of these idiots in Brussels or in Moscow or in a fucking White House, and you focus on your own shit and you make your own career, your own life, your own decisions, if you can, then you realize that you're... So, yeah, don't, like, people spend energy in places that just put them off, right? Don't do that. Just focus on yourself, man. That's what I do every day. I focus on my family, my son, my wife, myself, and I try to stay competitive if I can. I try to I try to survive like the rest of you, right? So let's not waste energy on stupid things, man. Stoicism is the philosophy that that is the root of life of every individual today. All of these self-proclaimed gurus and influencers and stuff, they're recycling something I called recycled philosophy. But if you read just some Stoicism, you will understand basic things. Focus on yourself. Compare yourself to how you were a day before. Focus on things you can control and you can affect, etc., etc. This is basic philosophy that exists for thousands of years, believe it or not. It's not mind-blowing new thing. And that's what it is, man. That's just how it is. What can you do? You have so little time every day. You better put it in places that can benefit you. Because discussing large-scale problems, unless you can affect them, like you have two types of people, right? You have people who want to affect change, and then they do something tangible. Like, for example, I don't want to affect change. Like, I don't want to sacrifice my well-being fighting some cause that can put me... Like, for example, I don't want to go now and give my life by creating a colored revolution, right? And some people do want that, and then they put money where their mouth is and they do it. So if you're either one or the other, if you don't want to affect change by actually putting... So, for example, all of these people who are saying, yeah, go Ukrainians, just give your lives. If you think that, take a fucking gun in your shitty fucking hands, go to the battlefield and die, and show your courage on the battlefield, not on Twitter or comments on some random platform. Or vice versa, if you don't want that, then don't discuss it. Shut up, be happy that you have a life that you have. Enjoy it, be grateful for the things you have, not for the things you don't have. And this is a very simple path to follow. I see so many assholes on the internet just being internet warriors every single day, just telling how things should be, and this should be like this, and this should be like that, and this should work like this. But when you ask them to do any of that, they're nowhere. They just disappear, right? So don't be that guy or girl. You should give a talk. I don't think that anybody would want to listen to me, man. I'm just another asshole talking crap, man. But let's see what that is. I never heard of that. Talent Arena. What is this? Talent Arena. Barcelona. Nice. I have a friend, Iker, in Barcelona. Nice, man. Steve Wozniak. Cool, dude. Very nice. Steve Wozniak, Gary Kasparov. Cool. Anyway, I'm sorry for the little outburst. I just want to help and share a genuine opinion. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Thank you for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. I wish you a great rest of the weekend, and be well, stay well, and focus on yourselves. And I catch you guys up in another one sometimes soon, I hope. Yeah, peace out, everybody. Thank you. Have a good one, everybody. Cheers.